You might feel fine right now, full of energy, eating healthy, doing everything right, but inside your body there could be health time bombs ticking away. These are the silent destroyers, conditions that grow quietly, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Most people don't see them coming until it's too late, but here's the truth. You can stop them before they stop you. In this video, I'm going to expose these hidden health threats, reveal how they sneak past your radar, and show you exactly how to defuse them naturally before they explode. Let's take control right now. The silent saboteurs inside your body brain. Most people walk around every day feeling fine, unaware that dangerous imbalances are quietly forming inside them. High insulin, low grade inflammation, or fatty liver don't always scream for attention at first. These silent saboteurs chip away at your health, cell by cell, until one day, it all explodes into a diagnosis you never saw coming. In this section, Dr. Berg explains how your daily habits, the food you eat, the stress you ignore, and the sleep you skip, silently set off these hidden time bombs, and what simple actions can deactivate them before they detonate. You might feel perfectly fine right now. You're getting through your day, maybe even hitting the gym, watching what you eat, and thinking everything's under control. But here's something most people don't realize. Some of the most dangerous health problems don't start with pain or obvious symptoms. They start quietly, slowly, and almost invisibly. Inside your body, there can be silent saboteurs working behind the scenes: metabolic shifts, hormonal imbalances, inflammatory processes that you don't feel until the damage is already well underway. These are what I call health time bombs. They tick silently, and if you don't know how to detect or diffuse them, one day they explode, often in the form of diabetes, heart disease, or something that feels like it came out of nowhere. The truth is, your body is incredibly intelligent. It's constantly adapting, compensating, and trying to maintain balance, even when things start going wrong internally. But those adaptations come at a cost. Take insulin resistance, for example. You might not feel it happening. Your blood sugar might even look normal on a test. Yet your insulin could be 3, 5, or even 10 times higher than it should be, forcing your body to work overtime just to keep your sugar levels steady. Over time, that constant insulin spike creates a cascade of damage, storing more fat, clogging arteries, inflaming your liver, fogging your brain, draining your energy. You don't feel it right away, but make no mistake, this is one of the biggest time bombs of modern health. Another silent one is inflammation. I'm not talking about the kind that happens when you sprain an ankle or cut your finger. That's obvious. I'm talking about low-grade systemic inflammation, the kind that burns quietly in your blood vessels, your gut, your joints, even your brain. It doesn't hurt, but it's slowly corroding your health from the inside out. It can come from processed foods, hidden sugars, vegetable oils, chronic stress, poor sleep, or even overtraining. This type of inflammation quietly alters how your cells communicate, how your immune system functions, and how your hormones behave. You might just feel a little tired, a little stiff, or a little moody, and brush it off as aging or stress, but underneath, the body is fighting a silent war every single day. Then there's the liver, the body's ultimate detox and fat-burning organ. It doesn't complain until it's in serious trouble. Most people with fatty liver disease don't feel a single symptom. They're walking around thinking their fatigue or brain fog is just from being busy, when in reality their liver is congested, inflamed, and overloaded. The liver can regenerate and heal beautifully, but only if you stop bombarding it with the very things that are causing the damage: refined carbs, fructose, alcohol, and excess snacking. Every bite of junk food is like turning the dial on that time bomb a little closer to zero. Now, here's the real issue. We've been taught to wait for symptoms, to react when something hurts, to fix problems after they appear. But health doesn't work that way. You don't go from healthy to sick overnight. You drift there slowly, silently, and often with a false sense of security. The body gives gentle warnings along the way. Fatigue after meals, poor concentration, weight that won't budge, cravings that never stop, bloating, mild headaches, poor sleep. These are not random annoyances. They are your body whispering for help. The problem is, we've been conditioned to ignore the whispers until they turn into screams. The good news is, you can absolutely stop these time bombs before they detonate. The first step is awareness. Start by looking at your daily habits. Every decision you make about food, movement, and stress is either feeding those hidden conditions or diffusing them. If you start your day with sugar cereal, fruit juice, pancakes, you're igniting insulin spikes from the moment you wake up. But if you focus on high-quality protein, healthy fats, and nutrient-dense foods, you're stabilizing your blood sugar, calming inflammation, and giving your cells the raw materials to repair. Next, address stress. Chronic stress doesn't just make you feel tense. It floods your body with cortisol, which triggers insulin resistance and inflammation. That's another time bomb right there. You can't always change your circumstances, but you can change your response. Breathing deeply, walking outdoors, getting sunlight, and prioritizing sleep are powerful ways to reset your nervous system and cool the internal fire before it burns out your health. Another big factor is fasting. When you stop constantly feeding your body, when you give it time to rest between meals, you lower insulin, you reset metabolic flexibility, and you let your body clean up damaged cells through a process called autophagy. This is like disarming a time bomb before it explodes. It's one of the most effective natural tools we have to reverse silent damage and restore balance. And let's not forget nutrients. You can't build a strong system without raw materials. Magnesium, potassium, vitamin D, B vitamins, and omega-3s are the quiet protectors that keep your systems running smoothly. When they're missing, inflammation and insulin resistance grow unchecked. That's why whole, unprocessed foods and sometimes strategic supplementation can make all the difference. If you're wondering how you'll know if one of these time bombs is already ticking inside you, look at your lifestyle. If your diet is high in processed carbs, if you're skipping sleep, if you're running on caffeine, if stress is your default state, then yes, you probably have a few. But don't panic. Your body is forgiving. It wants to heal. The moment you start removing the triggers and feeding it what it needs, the countdown slows down and eventually stops. Your job isn't to chase diseases after they appear. It's to understand what causes them and dismantle the mechanism before it gets out of control. Think of it like defusing a bomb. You don't wait until it explodes to start cutting wires. You act early, you stay alert, and you take responsibility for your health every single day. Because the truth is, the most dangerous conditions aren't the ones that hurt. They're the ones that stay quiet until it's too late. Don't wait for symptoms to tell you something's wrong. Listen now, act now, protect your body before the clock runs out. Cracking the code before it's too late. Magnifying how your body sends clues long before a condition shows up on a medical test. Subtle fatigue, brain fog, sugar cravings, bloating, mood dips. But most people overlook them or medicate them away. Dr. Berg reveals how to decode these early warning signs, understand what your body is truly saying, and take natural steps to restore balance. By addressing root causes, especially insulin resistance, nutrient deficiencies, and hormonal imbalances, you're not just preventing disease, you're reclaiming control of your long-term vitality. Your body is constantly communicating with you, but most people never learn how to understand what it's saying. We're taught to look for pain, swelling, or visible signs of sickness, but your body rarely starts there. Instead, it gives you subtle clues, little whispers, the kind you can easily overlook in the rush of daily life. Maybe you feel tired after eating, even when you've had plenty of rest. Maybe you crave sweets in the afternoon, or feel lightheaded if you skip a meal. Maybe you're losing focus, feeling foggy, or your mood shifts for no clear reason. These are not random. They're signals, your body's way of saying something's off long before it shows up on a medical report. The problem is, we've been conditioned to dismiss these early warnings. We pop a pill for the headache, grab a snack for the fatigue, drink coffee for the energy dip, and call it normal. But the truth is, these patterns are your body trying to get your attention. They are the first signs that a deeper imbalance, what I call a hidden condition, is brewing beneath the surface. When you learn to recognize and respond to these clues early, you don't just prevent disease, you take full control of your long-term health. Let's take fatigue, for example. Chronic fatigue isn't just about being tired. It's one of the earliest signs of mitochondrial dysfunction, meaning your cells aren't efficiently converting fuel into energy. That can be driven by high insulin, nutrient deficiencies, or inflammation. If you ignore that signal and just push through it with caffeine, you're not fixing the root problem. You're masking it. Over time, those stressed out cells start breaking down, and that's when you start seeing real disease progression. Or take cravings. Sugar cravings, especially after meals, are a classic sign of insulin resistance. Your body is essentially shouting, "I can't access my stored energy," so it demands more quick sugar to compensate. You might think you just have a sweet tooth, but what's really happening is your metabolism is becoming dependent on constant glucose spikes. Catch it early, stabilize your blood sugar, and you can reverse the entire process. Ignore it, and you're walking down the path to diabetes without even realizing it. Brain fog is another big one. Most people assume it's just stress, lack of sleep, or getting older. But brain fog is often the first symptom of poor glucose control or inflammation in the gut. Remember, your gut and your brain are in constant communication. When the gut is inflamed, whether from processed foods, hidden infections, or food intolerances, your brain starts feeling the effects. That's why cleaning up your diet and restoring gut health often clears your thinking faster than any nootropic ever could. Even something as simple as bloating is a clue. Many people accept bloating as normal, but it's often a sign of poor digestion, low stomach acid, or imbalanced gut bacteria. These might sound small, but if left unchecked, they can lead to nutrient deficiencies, immune dysfunction, and even autoimmune conditions. The earlier you notice these patterns and take action, the easier it is to turn things around. Now, how do you actually decode these signals? Start by slowing down and paying attention. When do you feel the best? When do you feel the worst? How do you feel after eating certain foods? Your body has an incredible feedback system, but you have to listen closely. Track your energy levels, digestion, mood, and focus. This isn't about being obsessive, it's about being aware. Once you start seeing patterns, you can make targeted changes that truly move the needle. For instance, if you crash after lunch, that's a blood sugar issue. Try reducing your carbs, increasing healthy fats, and see what happens. If you wake up tired no matter how much you sleep, that could be adrenal stress. You might need more rest, sunlight, and minerals, not another cup of coffee. If your joints ache and you feel inflamed, look at what you're eating. Seed oils, refined sugars, and processed foods are common culprits. Replace them with clean, anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, avocados, and wild-caught fish. Another big part of cracking the code is testing, not waiting for a diagnosis, but using simple tools to track your internal environment. Fasting insulin, A1C, liver enzymes, and vitamin D levels can tell you far more about your health trajectory than a standard checkup ever will. These numbers show what's happening inside long before symptoms become disease. You don't need to wait for something to go wrong before taking charge. Prevention isn't guessing, it's measuring and adjusting before the damage occurs. And then there's stress, the silent amplifier of every hidden condition. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which spikes insulin, suppresses immunity, and drains vital nutrients. Most people underestimate how much stress contributes to physical illness. Learning to regulate your stress through breathing, exercise, sunlight, and good sleep is one of the most powerful health tools you'll ever have. Your mind and body are not separate, they're in constant communication. When one is under pressure, the other pays the price. The goal isn't to become paranoid about every small symptom, it's to build awareness and respond with intelligence. Your body wants to heal. It's designed for survival, not destruction, but you have to meet it halfway. You can't keep feeding it junk, depriving it of sleep, and drowning it in stress while expecting it to thrive. Healing starts when you start listening. Once you begin connecting these dots, something amazing happens. You stop feeling like a victim of random health issues. You start understanding that your body has been communicating all along, and you just needed to learn the language. Every craving, every slump, every ache, it's data, it's feedback. And when you learn to interpret that data, you gain the power to intervene early, to make choices that keep you strong, clear-headed, and resilient. If there's one takeaway, it's this: early awareness is everything. The people who stay healthy long-term aren't lucky, they're attentive. They listen before the body has to shout. Don't wait for the big diagnosis, the emergency, or the wake-up call. Start listening now. Your body is talking. The question is, are you hearing it? Because the truth is, the earlier you act, the easier it is to fix. Ignoring the whispers only guarantees the screams. Listen carefully, respond wisely, and you'll not only prevent disease, you'll build a body that thrives from the inside out. Your health isn't a mystery, it's a message, and the time to answer it is right now. The most dangerous threats to your health aren't the ones you can see or feel. They're the ones ticking silently inside you, waiting for the right moment to strike. Every symptom you ignore, every shortcut you take, brings you closer to that explosion. But here's the truth: you have the power to defuse those time bombs. By listening to your body, nourishing it right, and acting early, you can rewrite your health story before it's too late. Don't wait for the warning signs to scream. Take charge now, and let your future be defined by strength, not surprise.